Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another Tech Visionary interview. We are pleased this time to have Rodrigo joining us. Hey, Rodrigo.
Hey, Reza.
Thank
How
you
are
for
you?
joining us all the way from
Thank you for
Mexico.
having me. Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. Yeah. Thank you.
Really pleasure to have you here among us. And today we are going to talk about .NET, the current state and future, or let's say the main programming framework of Microsoft. But before that, can you introduce yourself? What is your background? What do you do these days?
Yeah, sure. I'm Rodrigo Díaz. I live in Mexico and I've been developing solutions with .NET technology since always. I mean, since 2001 with the first betas. And nowadays, I'm the chief software architect of my own company. We do telemedicine and healthcare solutions. And we use .NET and Azure and everything related with the Microsoft ecosystem. And yeah, I've been using .NET since its beginnings, and I think that nowadays is the best time to be a developer because a lot of things are changing very fast, and we have great technologies and great tools, and yeah, that's it. And in addition to that, I'm a LinkedIn Learning author. I've been recording training courses for the LinkedIn Learning Library in Spanish language and also in the English language library, all focused on the um, Azure and .NET space, right? So
That's
that's
fantastic.
basically what I do, and yeah, when I have the time, I like to play video games on my PC, and basically that's it.
That's cool. That's
Yeah,
fantastic. Thank you for the introduction. So it is
yeah,
really good to have you with like the background from almost the time that .NET Framework actually born. That like 2001 was almost that time. Before that, like
right.
we had like VB6 or some other programming framework in Microsoft. .NET came and totally changed the way that people used programming in Microsoft technologies.
Right.
How do you see the adoption of that right now, let's say, in the market? Is so many people, so many companies, let's say, using programming languages of Microsoft and the whole .NET framework?
Yeah, .NET is not a new technology. So after almost 20 years, it's being used in a lot of companies, in a lot of verticals, in governments, and I think it's a very robust and stable set of tools and languages. So yeah, what I've seen in the past and up to this day is that a lot of people and a lot of companies are adopting, the .NET ecosystem and the Microsoft ecosystem. And despite the fact that, for example, I think 10 years ago, there was a dark time for us .NET developers when Steve Ballmer was the CEO, and a lot of things changed, or they tried to change because they wanted to, promote like HTML5 and JavaScript technologies to build the Windows applications. Remember, for example, Windows 8, right? The Metro applications and those kind of things. It was a dark time for us, and there was a lot of uncertainty. However, after a while and after that period of time, nowadays I think .NET is a very safe bet, and I think a lot of companies are trying to go to that ecosystem because it's a robust one, right? So, and yeah, .NET is everywhere. I mean, you can use .NET for building games, and you can use .NET for building any kind of desktop and web applications, and mobile applications, and what have you, right? Even web parts, SharePoint web parts. Remember that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
you can build everything with .NET. That's the fact. So I
yeah,
think it's a very safe bet
yeah.
for companies. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
amazing how this have been evolved through the years. Like these years, we have like so many technologies that we can build applications under that. What do you see as like, let's say, the next level would be, the future would be?
Yeah, I mean, nowadays we have .NET 5, which is the latest release of the .NET platform. And it's the most important one because it's a cross-platform technology. Um, and it's the first time in the history of .NET that all the different runtimes are together in a single runtime. For instance, in the past, we had .NET Framework, and then we had the .NET Compact Framework, and Mono, and Silverlight, Windows Phone, and those different .NETs, right? And it was a fragmented ecosystem. And nowadays with .NET 5, we have a single runtime, cross-platform, that you can use to build any kind of application on top of, x86, x64, and also ARM CPUs, which is pretty cool if you ask me. So yeah, I think the evolution of the platform will be towards this kind of cross-platform technologies. And actually, Microsoft announced that next year we're going to have .NET 6, and it's going to include the Xamarin evolution, which is Maui. That's the new name for the platform. And I mean, on top of the single runtime, now we're going to have the mobile option as well. So yeah, I mean, the future is so bright in the .NET ecosystem, and nowadays is a great choice for business decision makers and architects to I mean, just go and read about it and see if .NET is a good option for you. Yeah.
That's wonderful. So basically that means that these days you can use .NET to almost build any types of applications, any types of things you want with that, which is fantastic.
Right.
How do you see this can be impacted with the rise of business applications? So of course Microsoft came with Power Apps, Power Automate. These are, let's say, some ways that companies can use the concept of like citizen developers, those who are not really programmers, but they just use like a template to build some simple applications. Do you see that is going to impact the way that .NET Framework is adopted, or we are talking about totally two different type of audience here?
Yeah, I like the citizen developers thing because it allows people that, they are not developers, they don't want to be developers, but they want to build, they want to solve anything or something in their businesses, right? So I love the option and the way that Microsoft is enabling this kind of people. And I don't think it's going to impact the other way or another because, yeah, I mean, .NET is focused on, developers and architects. And when you want to go deep down and you want to create something like a very customized thing, well, I think you're going to need a developer to build that kind of things. However, yeah, with Power Automate and Power Apps and those services and products from Microsoft, you can build a lot of things. And sometimes you won't need a developer, knocking on your door and asking you, hey, how can I, or what do you want me to do, right? You can do it yourself, which is very, very cool, right? For us, business people, because yeah, I mean, you don't have to build anything from the ground up, right? I mean, you don't have to go and fire up Visual Studio and create everything from scratch. It doesn't make sense because you have this kind of very cool products and technologies that almost anyone can use, right?
That's great. Thank you for the great advice.
Right.
So you've been using this technology for a while, and you probably know a lot of like companies doing software development or using these technologies to build that. From your point of view, what are advices you can give to, let's say, decision makers, business owners, managers to have a successful software development project? It might be .NET or it might be anything. Like basically, what advices you would give for having something like that?
Yeah, software development and architecture, it's not easy. So, I mean, the tools are easy to use and the languages, have been improving since always. However, I think one of the tips that I want to give these business decision makers and people related with decisions in the company is that um, uh, know what kind of technologies you have around you. You know what those technologies can give you nowadays, because there are so many different options, right? Just look at, for example, Azure. We have like, I don't know, 200 different services, or I don't know the number, right? It doesn't make sense. Just to think about it, it blows my mind. So my tip is for them that they should know what kind of options are there, that they are available for them just right now. I mean, you don't have to create everything from scratch. That's one of the tips that I want to give these people. Yeah, just investigate what is on your on your fingertips right now. You can just go to for instance, Azure or AWS or Google Cloud Platform, what you want, right? And just read the docs and understand what's there and how it can make your company better. So yeah, the point is,
right.
You don't have to create everything from scratch. Yeah.
That's a really good point. Not to reinvent the wheel from scratch.
Not reinvent the wheel. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Great. Do you have any other advices you can give to our audience? Something that I haven't asked.
Yeah. For instance, if the company has a group of developers and you have a development team, just enable them to implement better actions and tasks and a discipline, just like DevOps. Simply put, if you are a manager that you are you want to control everything and you want people to, you're micromanaging. So that's my tip and suggestion. Don't do it. Please let your development team to do their work and enable them, with this kind of solutions and tools, so they can give you, better results, right? So enable your people, empower them, and adopt technology so you can improve your own company. That's another tip.
That's great tip. Thank you. And let's say for a manager to make sure that his team or her team is upskilled enough to face many challenges that comes up in the software development world. What are normally resources you recommend for people to get upskilled with all the .NET technologies?
Yeah. The most important learning resource that I can give you now is the docs.microsoft.com website, because it has the latest information about the technology, not only .NET, but for instance, any kind of .NET and Azure related products and technologies. So docs.microsoft.com should be on your favorites in your browser. And on the other hand, if you want to have you want a very good training about a particular technology or feature, you can go to LinkedIn Learning, you can go to Pluralsight, and basically those are my main sites, for learning everything related with .NET and Azure. So LinkedIn Learning, Pluralsight, and the docs.microsoft.com website.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
And any last word for our audience?
Yeah. So .NET 5 is here. It's a great technology. And you can build any kind of application with it. And just go and read about it and understand if it suits you, for you and your company and your requirements. I think you can use .NET for almost everything, and it has great performance and great tool set for building this kind of solutions. So just go there, and if you have any kind of question around .NET, just let me know if I can help you, or just go to the docs.microsoft.com website and find your answer there, right? So yeah, .NET 5 is here. Just go there and enjoy.
Awesome. How our audience can get in touch with you? What is the best way? Twitter, LinkedIn, which one?
Yeah, Twitter will be the best place for me to to make contact with me, and LinkedIn as well. I mean, I use LinkedIn a lot, and I think those are the best places for me to receive this kind of messages. So yeah.
Great. Awesome. Thank you for your time. Really appreciate your
Thank you for
time
having
today.
me, man. Yeah, sure.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for watching us. Hopefully we'll see you next time in another video. Bye.